Hi, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the text, one of the textbooks for the class. This one's on self-mentoring, and I know that at first glance it may seem to be a misfit, but what I want you to understand is that I think self-mentoring is an incredible tool that could benefit you greatly in future positions, even where you are right now. I'm obviously very biased because I actually wrote the book, and I wrote the book out of my own experiences. When I was a former superintendent and when I was transitioning into higher ed, I just thought it would be an easy fit. I didn't think it was going to be anything difficult, and it was quite challenging, much more challenging than I anticipated. And I had to figure out how to get through my first year and survive it. In higher ed, there isn't as strong of a support system as what you would have in public education. And when I was superintendent, it's not like I had a support system, but I understood how the system worked because I'd come up through it. I think higher ed is quite a different beast. And maybe beast is not the proper term, but it felt like that during my first year. And I absolutely love it. I love higher ed. I now kind of understand it, but that transition period. So this book really is more about that transition period. And when I think of some of you transitioning into different positions of leadership, especially if you want to become a school principal, if you're moving into a higher ed position, administrative position. These are transition positions that can be challenging. So what self-mentoring does is it will give you tools. It will help you kind of get through that. There are 4 levels. The first is self-awareness, and probably the most important. It's the one layer, it seems like, the one level that when I'm looking at, when I'm doing consulting work, I find that people kind of bypass. They immediately go into the self-development stage. And what you really need to do is to be able to look at yourself honestly, size up your talents, the fears that you have, the hurdles in front of you, and you do that for yourself, but you also need to look at your organization. What does your organization need? What does it require from you? And do you have those skills? And every organization is different. Every school is different. Every university is different. You have to be able to be very honest. And sometimes you have to go outside and get other individuals to help you with that and reflect on it. But you got to find those differences, let them emerge, and then find a way to bridge those gaps. And that's what self-mentoring really does. So as far as the way it molds into the course, this is a leadership course. I require this book for every single course that I teach that involves leadership because I don't think you can go wrong. It's an easy read. There's not a lot to it, and it will guide you through those steps. I also have situations where people have read the book and have used it for book circles for their teachers. A lot of times it's used to complement mentoring practices, and a lot of times it's used for teachers that are struggling. So self-mentoring definitely serves a purpose, and it can serve a different purpose for different individuals. Uh, I think it's a great read. Um, Again, I could be a little biased, but I think it could benefit you greatly. And I'm open to questions, anything if you want to talk about it. I do a lot of consulting work for schools, basically without cost. And obviously, I work in the business world more and all that. So drop me a line if you're interested, if you have questions about it, if you yourself, a lot of times I have students that are themselves transitioning and use the book to get through difficult situations. I'll be happy to talk to you about anything in the book about self-mentoring in general.